They're contagious.
You got a root beer float. You're not allowed to fall asleep. All right, so where last we left off, here was the squiggly map where you guys made your little course. This is where you went and met the bandits in the wash. You guys squiggly your way to the oasis. I need to move the microphone from my mouth because I can hear my breath. Then here's where you guys got lost, thanks to your ranger, your scout.
Wasn't me this time.
And then you guys got to the battle scene where you believe the noble's son was captured as opposed to killed. And you realize that the oasis over here was where two people went taking off to, thanks to our demigod's ability to speak with the dead. Some of the folks ran off this direction the night before the big attack, which could have included the noble son if he was cowardly, or he could have been taken with the captives by the orcs to the hills. And I do believe you guys opted to go to the oasis to resupply first, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, that's
Okay,
ever important.
so this is an important bit of local knowledge. Growing up in Southern California, the hills specifically refers to Beverly Hills. And now I'm picturing Beverly Hills orcs going out and raiding communities in their very fancy outfits.
With
Oh.
like the Karen blonde bob cut.
Yes.
That checks out because in my D&D universe, there is a place called Karenville, and it is in fact just orcs. All the females are named Karen.
Ooh,
All
no.
of the males are named Chad.
No. Since it's a fantasy universe, all of the Karens are called Beverlys, okay? And their town is in the Beverly Hills, okay?
That checks out.
Yes.
Now, when you say coach, I don't think of a vehicle. I think of, a purse. And all these orcs, decked out in Dolce & Gabbana.
High fashion orcs. I can see it.
There's an orc clan named Gucci, and another one Kardashian.
And another one, Prada.
Lululemon.
We go down and we get human skulls and sell them for 5 times their going value.
And the orc Amazons are La Perla.
Oh, no.
Okay, so let me. I'm assuming you guys should have some destiny. Some story points here.
Yeah.
Let's get those up. I like how last time it ended up somehow I had 6 story points left.
Okay.
I don't know what Joseph was rolling, but it didn't work out for him.
There's a Roll20 chat tips thing that popped up, and one of them is like, you could do like 2d6 greater than 5. I'm like, what does that actually output as like a result? Apparently, it tells you the number of successes you guys. Like, oh, interesting to know.
So anything above a
A
5,
5, it counts
would be
as a success.
It's almost like they're gearing that
Right.
towards the
Scion.
Wow, I'm not allowed to roll fucking d6s apparently.
You're just getting them out
Oh
now.
my god.
40. You're just getting it all out now.
All right, so yeah, the number of dice that are greater than that number. What happens if you pop down a number that is larger than what's possible to get? Does it always just give 0 successes instead of just the add?
I'm guessing it's probably for Savage Worlds dice.
Maybe.
Why they have that new macro which they're advertising. I'm guessing.
Well, Scion, it's like anything that's 7 or above counts as a success. 0s count as 2 success.
Mm-hmm.
And 1's minus a
success. But I think for White Wolf, they've already got the macros in there for like when we play Scion and stuff.
Okay.
That it already does the if you roll a 10, it counts as 2 successes. This could be for a new storyteller system or something like that.
Maybe.
So,
Or, I mean, it looks like it's just a functionality they added in,
yeah.
and it might have been there all along, and I just never knew about it.
And they're just like, hey, here's the tip of the day. Because, yeah, I know on game I was playing last night, the tip that came up was about whispers.
Oh yeah, this had the whispers too. It's talking about /roll /GM roll, and then the whisper, and then whisper GM. But like in the little like /GM roll, it has the D6 greater than 5 or /GR 2D6 greater than 5. I'm like, what the hell does the greater than or less than sign do?
It's just
Now we know.
successes or not successes.
Now we know.
And you've tried it out, and Roll20 didn't explode. So
And
that's a good
knowing
test.
is half the battle.
G.I. Joe.
The more you know.
So as I said, I believe you guys were heading to the Oasis where the caravan master's wife and child ran off.
Yes.
Does that sound familiar?
And
It
what was the
does.
kid's name? The caravan master's name? His son's name?
Hold
'Cause
on
you're
a
supposed
second.
to like tell him something, right?
You were supposed to convey his dead father's wishes.
Yeah.
And such.
Yeah.
I remember some things occasionally.
And while Kelly is looking that up, I'm going to go get me a drink real quick because I've ran out of drink.
Oh no, I have EGs.
Boo. I'll be right back.
They still have the cherry cider.
Ooh.
Well, the guy's name is Duke Harold. Wants us to find his son's caravan, but
Yeah. No, we're talking about the
see.
caravan master whose son and wife fled.
Oh,
We got
I don't-
something that we had to do for the son.
I don't have it because unfortunately I don't think I saved the document for the last session that I was in. It just says index and then nothing.
Nice.
So
What was that? Yes. Index? What?
no, that literally I had started typing for session 8. I started typing index, so obviously you were going to do something, and then it's blank. So I don't
That
think
sounds. It sounds like a warning. Index. This sounds like a terrible prophecy.
I have returned.
Oh my.
Have you established your master plan?
No.
going to the Oasis.
Going down to the Oasis.
I know. I'm already trying to keep Midnight at the Oasis song out of my head. Unsuccessfully. Last thing I need is that earworm.
You're a bard. It's your job.
True.
You should already be singing this for the group.
No.
This is your calling. So what all exactly is your guys' plan? Or are you shooting from the hip with 12% of a plan?
12% of a plan right now, I think.
Okay.
12% of a plan's better than 13.
Okay, so somebody give me a survival roll, since we all know that all of you are better than our scout at survival, apparently.
Well, certainly I am.
And you definitely got story points. I mean,
Well, and the scout's not here right now. So.
Oh, you haven't set a difficulty yet.
I haven't. I was looking to see who's going to roll first.
Well, I'm glad I got rid of that roll that only had one success in it. That would be unfortunate to actually roll.
I was looking, I'm like, looks like all of you rolled. How bad can it be?
Just tell me when it's ready.
It is ready.
There
So,
we go.
easy peasy, our nefarious scoundrel there had no problem saying, I will lead the way. Because last time we let the scout lead the way, he got lost. Obviously, he must be staying behind at the massacre site to keep a situation for you guys. I don't know exactly what the situation is, but he may be having another muffin episode in the desert.
Oh Lord, he'll get so dried out.
I
It's
want to hear the story of what we're going through from his perspective, because I imagine it's going to be like a Hunter S. Thompson peyote trip.
because at one point when you guys are at the oasis, he's back at the murder site, jumping up underneath like out of an animal. He's like, "Muffin, muffin, muffin man, muffin man, muffin." Having
Do you
his
know
little
the
muffin
Man?
trip.
Of course I do. He's me. In his best Obi-Wan impersonation.
Picking up some dead guy's head and talking with it.
This is Albert country.
Okay, so you guys are clearly getting a good bearing on where the oasis is and following the tracks there. And you guys pretty much go through the night following the tracks. And sun comes up, it's not too hot yet as you guys see the first of the palm trees at the oasis there. And then clearly you get closer to realize that this is one hell of an oasis. It's got this big, nice, almost small lake, not just like a water hole. And there's lots of vegetation all around it, and it doesn't take you much time at all to find where the refugees from that massacre have gotten to, because they're kind of like huddled around with whatever meager things they grabbed as they ran. Are you guys gonna like boldly approach them, or just kind of sneak up on them?
I mean, we're very obviously not orcs, so I feel like we're probably fine just walking up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Do you know what orc looks like?
The orcs don't look like a cat person, a gnome, a robot, and a necromancer.
this is true.
Like, orcs can be mistaken for a lot of things, but I don't think they can be mistaken for any of those four things.
They can be mistaken for a skinny hag, or a small, emaciated troll, or possibly even a goblin on steroids, but not a mechanical man.
Perhaps a very angry tree trunk, but
Or as sometimes they are known as out here, the scathing wind. That really is just a windstorm that they attack all Scorpion King style during the middle of. So you guys basically just gonna boldly just ride on in on their camp.
yeah.
Okay. So immediately, like a couple different people, you see about 12 people total. They all looking different, shades of injuries and things. And one of the guys that seems to be like he's got a wrap around one of his eyes. It seems he's got an injury because it's all bloody and dirty on the wrap. And he kind of like picks up his little spear and kind of like does that puff up, where he kind of like immediately blocks your path, so you have to answer to him of who the hell are you? Because I'm obviously the guy in charge with the eye patch, with blood just oozing through it.
Sure you are.
That's normal.
Okay.
That's how humans do things.
Hold on, let me switch over back.
And you can totally ignore him and just fill up your water casks. I mean,
No, I'm a very social person, being a bard. So, okay, let's see here.
it's not a good thing. She's looking through a character sheet. She's looking
Well,
for options.
I was thinking because, I don't get to use it all that often, that I could use my connected.
Oh, you're going to use your big damn power.
That this guy recognizes me or something that I know, So let's see here. Hold on. When your character activates this ability, choose one NPC and they reveal that they owe your character a favor. Work with the GM to establish relevant details or something,
Mm-hmm.
So.
And it costs 2 story points.
Oh my.
Yeah.
I have some story points to play with now. So feel free to click those points.
Okay, hold on a sec.
And what is your little montage flashback between you and the one-eyed guy who takes a second to recognize you with his sans 2 eyes?
Um, let's see here. Well, I want him to. Well, let's just say I got him out of trouble and he owes me big.
He owes you more than you stand tall, huh?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so any particular details you want to throw out there?
Let's see. He could always go back and he could lose his hand. You know, that I saved him from like getting a limb or something lost, you know.
So he did get the limb lost, or he did not?
No, he did not, because I intervened. That's why he
Oh,
owes
okay.
me.
He
Okay.
was standing outside of one of her concerts scalping tickets. And the guards were about to take off one of his hands.
They were gonna
She's like, "No, no, no."
scalp him.
Okay, so immediately he kind of glowers at the whole group, and then the last one of your group he sees is the little gnome bard sitting there, and her blushing bright cheeks with a slight sunburn, and immediately his expression completely drops to this really casual look. His shoulders, instead of being all squared up and tense with veins bulging, just immediately his posture relaxes as soon as he sees the
And I
bard.
wave at him.
And what's his name, by the way?
Let's call him Avino.
And does he come sparkling?
No,
Avino
but he
water?
comes fragrance free. No, Avino. I was looking at a lotion bottle.
Okay. So
I got it.
immediately Avino kind of like waves this little weird awkward wave back at you. As you can see, he's trying to be like on point with all these people to make sure they follow what he's saying and respect him, and then he just kind of like blushes as soon as he sees you.
It's like, Avino.
And he kind of gestures over his shoulder to the group, and he just like tells them they're okay. Not giving you details, but they're all right. They're good people.
Yeah.
Even though 3 of the 4 of you he doesn't know, but he's assuming since you're hanging out with the bard, you guys be cool.
Yeah. It's like, I take it you were part of the caravan that was attacked?
Yeah, I was hired on as one of the guards, and as you can see, things did not go well at the camp.
Okay. Where's the Duke Harold's son?
And he like gives you this cockeyed look, like, how do you know our caravan master's name? And then he kind of like glances back and he points to where you see a woman like washing her clothes, probably getting bloodstains out, watching the boy play in like knee-deep water. And he kind of gestures back the way where you can see the kid playing in the water.
Does she know where he is?
Well, what I'm saying is you see the boy playing in the water and his mother washing her some clothes out.
Okay. That's not.
Is he
son.
implying that the tiny little son is the guy we're looking for?
Well, he's not that tiny. He's like 15, 16, but he's kind of playing in the water.
That's the son. I'm going to Avino. That's Duke Harold's son that was sent to lead this caravan.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said the caravan master's son.
No.
Remember the one that he kind of like looks around and he gestures to a palm tree. When you look down, you see that there's a form sleeping at the base of the palm tree.
Is that Duke Harold's son?
And he gives you this big chin nod.
Does he look like he's been through a fight, or does he look like he was the first in line to run?
This guy looks like he's been in a fight.
The one under the palm tree.
The one under the palm tree that you need to get closer if you want to find anything else out.
Okay, let's get closer.
Okay, so you guys like getting off your horses and stuff?
Yep,
Actually, no. He should recognize his own horses.
that's
If
a
he-
good point.
The sun.
Okay. And you guys come walking up on the horses, and the gentleman that he pointed to under the palm tree kind of like lifts his shirt up that he was using as a sunscreen and kind of squints at you. The guy looks like he's got really dirty hair, really bad sunburned cheeks. And he kind of squints at you guys as you come clogging up on your horses. Like you've interrupted his afternoon siesta. Now,
I'm sorry. Did we wake you?
Now, oddly enough, when you see him, his clothes look like really disheveled. We're talking like way more disheveled than it should be if he was attacked the other day, a couple days ago. And he has no jewelry on that you notice. That's one thing that would
I was gonna say, yeah,
think
because
would
we're
stick
looking for
out.
that signet ring. This guy could be a poser pretending to be the Duke's son.
Yep.
And he just
People
gives
know that though.
he gives you this look like, may I help you, or I'm going back to sleep.
Yeah. Well, does it look like he recognizes the horses?
Why don't you give me a perception to find out? It could be in the bright light that maybe he's not, able to spot this kind of thing.
Yeah, right. He should be able to know horseflesh. Let's see here. What? Okay, I've only got 3 greens, but I'll give it a shot.
As our bard is giving him the stink eye. And you're pretty much not sure. I mean, you do have an advantage. How would you like to spend it? But you're not quite sure if he's recognizing or just squinting because of the morning sun.
For the advantage, Duke Harold, I don't have it in my notes, but what was the son's name?
I'm not sure we ever got the name.
No, we didn't.
You
'cause I don't
didn't.
have.
Yeah, I don't have it in my notes.
Okay, but yes, you were provided the name. His
What's
name was Joffrey
Joffrey.
Jonas
Okay.
Harrison,
Jingleheimer Schmidt.
Esquire.
Joffrey Jonas. Joffrey Jonas what?
Harris.
Harris. JJH. Esquire.
Okay.
Guy named his son Joffrey. That's fucking rude.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt your nap, but may I have your name, sir?
And he proudly gives it to you in his little tooty voice that he does. He's like, "Oh, you are bothering me. My name is Joffrey, but you may call me Harris. Come, would you like to have a midday nap with me? Could you perhaps get me a cup of water? I'm parched." And already you're like, you would like to kick sand in his face right now.
Oh yeah, no, I really, really would right now.
My horse could give him some water.
Do you say that?
I don't think it was a spit he was implying. The stallion drank water. He goes full fire hose.
Oh no.
And he just looks at you like, I'm waiting.
You know what? I just stare at him, like waiting for him to say more.
And as soon as you give him the long eye, he kind of like shrugs and he's like, "Whatever, I give you leave." And he kind of like lays back to get snuggy and puts his little veil on back on him, shirt back on him so it covers the sun from his face. And he puts his arms crossed on his chest and he's pretending to start going back to sleep.
I'll say aloud, I guess he doesn't seem to need any rescuing after all.
And you can tell he's listening. I mean, he gets very, very quiet and still. As you almost see a slightly perceptible huh when you say rescue.
Does he need to be anesthetized?
Do you say that? As he just kind of like one arm lifts up the shirt and he's looking at the mechanical man, like, whatever is your mechanical servant talking about?
Obviously, this group of people have seen some pretty bad times. They need medical care.
Yes, attend the peasants who have been injured. And he just kind of like goes back into his little sleeping position.
Actually, that doesn't sound like a terrible idea. I think I will go provide first aid to the people that are sympathetic.
As you come out and you're like, "I'm your emergency medical care physician. May I give you a
Okay.
hug?"
So I'm gonna dismount,
Okay.
and he's lying there on the ground.
Yep, he's lying there flat on his back. He's got his little sunshade covering his face and chest, right up against the side of the palm tree there.
I think it's time you woke up.
And he's like, he doesn't even lift the sunshade. He's just like, "Go fetch me water and then I'll talk to you more. You bore me."
I'm gonna bore a hole in you. Get your ass up. And I kick,
You kick sand on
kind of
him.
nudge him. Yeah.
Okay, and he kind of gets up, and, in a big fuss, stands up to his full height. He's standard human, so he's about 5'8". Throws the jerkin that he was using as a sunshade on the ground, and he looks down upon you and says, "You." And he then looks back to where he's laying and picks his little sword up, which, by the way, the sword is immaculately gilded. And doesn't seem to have any blood coming out of the sheath, but he immediately does that semi-threatening, holds the scabbard, and then kind of puts his hand on the hilt. "Go fetch me water or leave me alone, peasant."
I will fetch your ass back to your father.
And he gives you almost that cockeyed dog look, like, what?
Look, there are two ways this is going to happen, kiddo. You're going to either cooperate with us, or we're just going to take your head back to your dad. He wasn't too keen on having the entirety of you.
Whatever are you talking about? We're all surviving the orcish hordes that have been attacking us. What are you talking about?
I think you very well know what I'm talking about. Daddy isn't pleased with you.
Okay, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Okay, perception. Nothing.
As you know, what it is Twyla's too into the argument, the art of the argue, to really notice his reactions. But he's just like, he seems devoutly set on there is no rescue. We're going to die here.
I know I didn't get the perception. But
And he just kind of like is in the middle of you talking to him. He's turning his back to you and he's walking towards the water's edge.
okay, if he leans down, I'm following him.
Okay.
And when he leans down to, like, I don't know, wet his thing or something, I want to push him in the water.
Oh, he's full on dropping to his knees and putting his face in the water.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna shove his behind so he
Okay.
goes in.
Go ahead and give me a brawl as you're trying to put your gnomish boot to his butt and
Ooh, yeah, my mighty one green.
let's see how well this gnome can shove him in the water.
Jim,
Huh?
James, I
Yeah.
never dismounted. I'm behind her,
Okay.
still mounted and ready for problems if he does something stupid.
Okay. Aw, look at Bob ready to
Well,
protect you.
here we go.
I'm like super tempted to spend one, but I don't think I need to, other than to make interesting things happen. As he literally, goes from one knee to two knee, and he kind of like leans to the water and cups the water and splashes it in his face. Twyla comes up and she's just like furious in the most adorable willow way that she kicks his thigh and kind of bounces back from his thigh in an attempt to shove him in the water. And he just gives you the worst stink eye ever. And then tries to splash water on you, like, just like, you silly gnome.
And there's when we definitely don't see any
And for the
jewelry on
record,
him.
he does splash water on you.
Oh. Okay, hold on.
So just like a good solid handful of water for a gnome, that's like half their body. Smashes you into you, just to get you a little soggy.
Refreshing, but annoying.
And you,
Sir, you wouldn't happen to have anything to prove your identity, would you?
why, of course I do. I have my pedigree and my papers right here. And he kind of pats his back pocket, and you can see there's a couple rolled up sheafs of parchment back there.
Does that include the seal that we're supposed to get?
The seal would probably be on his finger unless he's hiding it somewhere. I mean, he could be hiding it since it's basically a gold ring, it's a signet ring. So he could be totally hiding it in the old prison purse, but most likely it would be either on his finger, around his neck, or possibly used in his papers as the ring that keeps the papers rolled up.
Mm.
That would be a big ring.
So he doesn't have a ring?
And he
Not
has
that
no
we
jewelry
see.
showing on his hands that you can see.
And nothing with the papers that he pulls out?
Well, he just patted the pocket. He didn't pull any of the
Oh.
papers out.
Can we see those?
And he looks at you and crosses his hands and says, my feline friend, who are you demanding to see a nobleman's papers? And he gives you this look like a nobleman. His nose turned up 3 times when he said nobleman.
Someone hired by an actual nobleman to bring back their 2-bit son and his fucking signet ring.
And he kind
Do
of
you have it?
he kind of gives you a weird look when you say that. Give me a perception roll real quick. That was some big truth bomb you dropping on him.
I know I was trying to avoid that, but
Wow.
What would you like to do with those 2 advantage?
Fuck, I'm just gonna recover strain.
Well, you should
I'm
be.
still hurting from last time.
Well, remember, you did have a scene since then, so you should have recovered some.
yeah.
Didn't recover a lot.
Well, I didn't have too much to recover, so.
Okay, and he
Okay.
just looks at you like, who are you to demand
Wait.
my papers?
Wait. Do we do a strain and wound recovery?
Strain. You roll cool.
Basically, between encounters, you could roll your cool, which I need to
Hold
take
on,
out
why
the
is
negative
this,
dice because
Because James didn't clear it.
Bob rolled before I could remove the difficulty of the guy's skill that you're
Regardless,
rolling
there's
against.
1 success, so that's 1 strain.
And he just looks at you guys like, how dare you common people ask me for my papers? It's a very familiar, noble, stubborn opinion that you've seen before. And who, may I ask, is addressing to see my pedigree?
Coric Felicitas of the Adventurers Guild. I was hired by your father, as were the rest of us. Now, if you have proof of your identity, we'll be happy to escort you back to civilization,
so you're my
where there'll be plenty of
servants
food
then.
and water. No.
No, we're not.
And
Technically speaking, we weren't hired to bring you back. We were hired to bring the signet ring back. It's a courtesy that will bring you back.
and he gets kind of nervous when you highlight the signet ring, but he's like, I can prove my identity, but unfortunately, the ring was lost during the raid.
Mm-hmm. A thing on your finger was lost, but you have the papers.
And all your fingers.
And that glittery sword.
Hmm.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
it was lost in the melee.
The melee.
The melee.
He didn't do any melee, I bet. Is there is perception the insight?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. Who has good perception?
I do. Except for that one roll where I was rolling against a red and just my dice failed me completely.
And like,
Your blue
I think
dice
he's
was your only
lying
real
about
friend.
the melee and the.
I mean, the way I figure it, we could just tie him up and bring him with us to the hills.
Yeah.
To see if there's someone else in the hills who also matches the identity. And maybe has a ring on their finger.
Well, wait a minute. He would have given us a description of the guy.
Would he have, though? He didn't really give a shit about his third
Yeah,
son.
he didn't. But he would have described the seal.
I mean, he does kind of look like the description you have. I mean, of course, he's like he's got that scraggy, shaggy beard going now, and his hair probably has been washed in way too long. I mean, with the exception of he's dirty as hell, he could fit the description you guys were given. I mean...
Yeah, but if he was a true noble, and they've been at this oasis for a little while, he would have already bathed.
Well, it's not that he's filthy dirty. He's just
the amount of laziness that this guy has.
He's disheveled and hasn't, had a proper cleaning or bathing. Washing yourself in muddy oasis water is just not the same as, being pampered and bathed and perfumed. And having, more importantly, servants to do all of those things.
I say we check his pockets, tie him to the horse.
Yeah,
uncomfortably.
So you're going to roll him, basically?
No, we're going to roll him onto the horse. Gagging too would be good, but it'd be hard to breathe in the desert.
So you're basically rolling him.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Let me try something.
Okay.
He's amused by your sigh.
As my compatriot said, we were not at all engaged to bring you back. We were engaged to bring your signet ring back. And apparently, and as much as I hate to admit it, I was wrong. And your father was right. I guess you are worthless.
Ooh.
So, tell us who has the signet ring and how we're supposed to save your ass yet again.
And he just kind of smiles when you say that. As you're going to try to coerce him into it?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Give me just a second to set the pool.
Oh, oops.
I mean, you can totally have that roll if you want it, but totally his discipline's lower than his deception. If you want to roll again instead,
Okay, tell me when you're ready.
go for it. So immediately he's like, you know what? I will tell you where the signet ring is in exchange for one of those fine horses you have.
Why do you think that you're still in a position to negotiate?
As he just kind of squints his eyes. If you want that silly ring, you'll just have to go to the orc camp to find the orc that stole it.
All right, that was our next stop anyway.
Yeah.
You just told us an orc had it. It's all we needed to know. We have water
And
now.
guess
We're good.
what? We're gonna tie him to let's tie him to the horse. He's gonna point out which orc, or we're just gonna slaughter them all. I
No,
mean,
You say that like we
Actually-
weren't gonna
actually, I
slaughter
think-
them all anyway.
I like the idea of actually capturing him, trading him for the ring, and then they can slaughter him.
yeah.
Oh, that's
And
dark.
Hey,
You wrote this guy to be dislikable. He's disliked. You
we
succeeded.
should probably have this conversation like in front of him, saying, "Well,
I was
Oh, yeah,
assuming you were
I'm
having the
definitely
conversation
being
right
bad
there in
guy.
front of him.
yeah, like
Yeah.
so. Well, if it's better than that, because I don't want to have to, take a stinking head back with me. But
As you guys,
Oh, hey, trust me. I can take care of it. It won't stink.
oh, okay.
you
and
guys,
it'll walk itself too.
you guys kind of hear this semi-loud, very distinct ahem, ahem from a good 30 feet away, where Avino's like looking at you,
Like, yes,
and
Savino?
basically does this whole hand gesture to, like, there are women and children here. As in, like,
Okay.
please watch what you're saying in front of women and children so I don't have to act like a guard in front of them.
Well, Vino, if you have any sway over this young idiot, you might want to tell him to cooperate with us. And we can spare everyone the discomfort of his presence.
Well,
one way or another.
He kind of gestures to you that, hey, listen to the gnome, But he's like, the young, Duke's son's just like, what are you asking of me? I told you where the ring is. Now rescue me. Don't trade me to some orc like horseflesh.
Again,
No,
Horse-
horseflesh is worth way more than you.
As you can see, he's getting a little red, and it's not the sun.
Ring. We'll come back and get you after we get the ring. Stay here.
But you promised to rescue me. At least give me a horse.
No.
no, we did not promise to rescue you.
We said we'll do it as a courtesy, and that will certainly happen after we get the ring.
Not to mention the fact that you've been very discourteous.
As he just has this completely disheveled look of like, you guys lied to me. You asked me and I told you, and you lied to me. He's totally
No,
looking
we did not lie to you at all.
as he just has this complete deflated look on him. So you guys gonna just head on out without him, or the
After we
women,
refill our water, yeah.
or the children, especially the children?
I'm gonna tell Avino to keep an eye on him. Don't let him wander off.
Oh, and
'Cause
Avino.
technically, he is a payday from his mother, if we can bring him back alive.
And Avino's like, don't worry about this guy wandering off. He never gets anywhere further than screaming distance for help.
And I'm going to ask Avino, hey, at the whole fight, did he actually join the melee?
And he kind of like looks and he's like, you can see Avino kind of does this whole kind of tries to remember the whole chaos and the rush. And he kind of ponders.
The hell?
Wow. Sorry, ignore that second roll because it didn't pop up on my screen, but he immediately like gestures for you to come aside to talk to you privately. And he's like, hey, get you away from the crowd because he's discussing personal business with an old friend here. And he's like, well, to be honest with you, I was hired by the caravan master to ensure the protection of his wife and daughter over there. And when the caravan master said we had to leave, after he discovered that some of his guards ran off with some of the other patrons, we kind of left early before the battle really started. But I can definitely tell you that he either was already leaving, getting ready to leave, and when he just joined up with us, and I don't think he's a noble.
See,
I mean, he's
that's
got
my
that
suspicions as
he's
well.
got that attitude, and he's got that sword that says he's a noble, and he's got some papers he keeps flipping in people's faces. But
Did you, at any point in time, did you ever see him with a signet ring?
I never saw him with the signet ring, but a friend of his had a big, gaudy ring on that I saw.
Where is that friend?
Unfortunately, I left with the caravan master's wife before the fight really happened, so I don't know.
So what did the friend look like?
Thankfully, because my triumph here, I can describe him really well to you. That he's pretty much almost the same build, except he had a slightly shorter hair than his friend over there, but he was constantly rubbing like oils or ointments or something into his hair,
The friend.
and smelled of lilacs all the time.
Mm-hmm. Now, when were they with the caravan when you hooked up, or did they join it after?
They were both with the caravan before I joined.
Okay.
I mean, it's hard to believe that 18 wagons and beasts were decimated by those orcs, but the orcs have been coming in bigger and bigger numbers over the last 3 nights before the big attack happened.
About how many orcs at the largest did you
on the last
calculate?
day, it was about 20 orcs, each of them riding one of those godforsaken 6-legged lizards.
Yeah, those are tough little bastards.
And the worst part was they went for the animals first.
Mm-hmm. Yes, as we experienced as well. All right, Avino, we are going to we have to I think you're right. I don't think he is the noble. I think his friend was the noble. Why he was pretending to be not noble, and has this Duke's son been lording it over everybody since moment one?
Well, ever since we got away from the battle, he's been promising that his rich family will pay a king's ransom to get him rescued and returned back to civilization.
Yeah, but when they joined the caravan, he and his friend.
No, they were pretty quiet until the orcs, made us all have to flee. I mean, they were keeping a really low profile.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, Avino. And
there goes Avino with the triumphs there.
Yeah. What the caravan master, what contingency plans does he have for this type of thing? Like if
pretty much the only thing he told me was get his wife and child and as many of the folks that could flee that weren't fighters over to this oasis and hopefully hook up with another caravan to get back to civilization.
And how are you for weapons?
And he kind of like, looks back at the distance, where you see the assembled people, and there seems to be just like maybe 3 or 4 good-looking weapons, and the rest are all just, podunk weapons. Sticks that they've sharpened over the couple nights that they've been here.
Hmm. The blade that the douchebag had,
Mhm.
the gilded one and stuff, did it look like at least it was a good functioning blade?
It looked like it's a good steel blade and a very, very elaborate scabbard.
Okay. Stay here. I'm gonna go over to the douchebag and say, "Give me your sword."
And he looks at you like, "What? I'm not giving you my family sword."
Give me your sword.
Give me your horse. See, this doesn't work.
These people need proper weapons.
And if it
You
comes
don't
to
know
it,
how
I
to
will
use yours.
defend them. And he's like, "You don't think I know how to use this sword? Is that are you challenging me?"
Yes.
Ooh, you are.
Korik, this gentleman, and I use the term loosely, is not going to give up his unused blade to people who can actually use it to survive. What do you think of that?
How do you know he can't use a blade?
Well, that's why he ran. He ran from the fight.
Yes, so did the rest of these people. They seem pretty
The women
capable as
and
well.
children.
Are you
What-
trying to insult him into a fight?
Yes.
And he just looks around at the assembled people and kind of waves his scabbard sword as a baton to get people's attention of, "Never mind these desert raiders that come into our camp demanding to steal people's weapons with their mighty horses that they could share, their wagon that could carry the women and the children to safety. Why do you want to steal my blade that will protect these women and children, gnome?"
Because you are no warrior and you are no noble.
"And you are a mighty warrior that deserves my fine blade, little gnome."
I am a bard and I will tell the world about you.
And he just looks like, yawn. And
I
he
know
proceeds.
I know you're not the Duke's son.
And he just kind of like ignores you and walks by to where there's the meager bits of food that the hungry people are eating, and he just grabs himself a handful of oats.
That's it. I'm a no. Where's my? I'm gonna hit him with the dagger.
You're gonna run up and stab him with a dagger?
No, I'm gonna throw it.
Because he's like, "No,
have
I will not talk to this little rude gnome that wants to steal my blade. To blade."
Okay.
So are you throwing it at him?
I'm looking at my weapon sheet. Dagger. Dagger thrown. Here it is.
Your difficulty is set. Okay, so you aim and throw your dagger?
Mm-hmm.
Or actually, I think that blue's just because it's an accurate dagger, yeah. And you stick him with the dagger. I mean, you hit him for 8 points of damage. He's got this big bloody wound on his leg. Or whereabouts are you throwing? Anywhere in general?
Well, he was turned away from me, so shoulders. I want him like ideally like right between the shoulder blades.
You mean the spine?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's worse.
you in the middle of him just balking at you and walking past you to go get a handful of food, you stab him in the back in front of witnesses.
Whoa, bro. Whoa. It's not
Okay.
cool, bro.
So do me a favor as you stab him in the back.
Sometimes you gotta stab someone in the back, though. You know?
I mean, I guess
Do you,
sometimes
though?
they have it coming.
I mean, I don't see any other alternative.
It's because you're blind. You can't see anything.
I mean, I didn't say I wasn't.
It's because he's mechanical. Everything's cool.
My perception is probably the worst in the group. You know?
Yeah.
The fact
Yeah, it
that I
is.
see things is not a surprise.
He's like, I didn't calculate that coming.
Sorry, I get really bitchy when I'm tired.
You get really stabby when you're tired, apparently.
Yeah, bro.
Let's see. Why did that initiative not pop up?
Because that wasn't an initiative cool roll. It was just a regular
Yeah.
cool.
Like, get back to my NPC sheet. Oh, that's why. I like how it just puts the initiative at that's, NPC.
Well, yeah, because it's popcorn initiative. It doesn't matter.
So, did you guys roll initiative?
I'm not getting in on this.
Well, you can still roll initiative. I mean, you can always go, great. You know they hang the cats first, right? It's not just because our urine smells.
What are we rolling? Vigilance?
Yeah, pretty much vigilance, because, yeah.
I roll cool because I'm the one who started it.
And she's got a better cool. I like how your team here is not trying to get initiative for you.
Yeah.
I'm busy giving the medicals to the people.
Yeah, I mean, Twilight, you stab him in the back from, a good distance away. Yeah, who's going first? I mean, we can totally say that it's going to be Index giving medicine to people.
That's right.
You, sir, have a dagger in your back. Would you like me to heal that?
I actually happen to know a lot of stories about the history of stabbing somebody in the back. Let me expound on that to you.
Begins listing off Shakespearean fucking plays. Every one of them.
I wanted the
Except
bard
for
to give
Romeo
me
and Juliet.
Angry
They got
Hamlet,
stabbed in the front.
and she gave me Angry Hamlet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so who's going first?
I will.
Oh, dear God.
Yes.
Okay.
Give him a chance to defend himself? God damn.
Nope.
Okay, so what are you going to do? Because Avino totally didn't get initiative good enough. Your dagger is clearly twinging in his back.
Did he turn around?
Well, he's in pain now as he was trying to feed himself.
Okay, you mean steal the food from the other people? Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and throw another one.
Jesus Christ! You all made her wait till she got tired and hangry. Go ahead and roll your other
Apparently, I'm
dagger.
gonna miss though,
But you're
and
gonna
I'm gonna
scare the
just like,
poop out of 'em.
but I'm gonna insult him. Like,
So,
you lying, cheating bastard.
as like women are grabbing their mouths, and children are just like, "Damn, your mama jokes," and then another guy just like is practically fainting at the dagger sticking out of his back. So, what are you getting for those 4 advantages, by the way?
I'm gonna give him negatives.
Okay. So who's going next? Is Twyla's going
And I
pure
was like-
murder gnome?
Yeah, like, lying, cheating bastard. You better start telling the fucking truth.
Y'all see what's on the map right now?
That's why I laughed earlier when I
Yeah.
saw the little arrow come up. It's
Twyla
just
fucking
funny.
murdered a guy here. God damn.
Yeah. Okay.
It's sometimes important to see the map legend.
So are you guys just kind of like, gawking at what the fuck is going on here?
I'm just gonna shout out, what the hell are you doing?
Twyla!
He better start telling us the truth.
So
I'm the cat. I'm supposed to be the sociopathic one.
I know, right? This is actually totally against really Twyla's whole thing, but I'm tired, and that's how that's how I will react.
unfortunately,
because
I
I
gave
am
her
taking
sugar.
it out on this lying, cheating, hypocritical, obnoxious, friggin' phony baloney.
So Avino is gonna try to tackle you, Twyla. I'm just letting you know he's gonna try to tackle you and bring you back to your senses. Cause damn, Jesus,
Apparently
Fucking hell,
want
Avino.
to.
Avino rolls nothing but triumphs apparently. So he kind of like comes up, and it's funny because he's got drawn a 4, so he kind of like bear hugs you and stands up. So your
And
feet are at his
Twyla's
belly
just all
button.
rabid, foaming.
As he's like, Twyla, we've talked about this before.
Like, he's lying. He's a cheating, lying.
And she's got another dagger in her hand, swinging around as he's just holding her by the scruff of the neck.
People are dead while this bastard lords it over them when he's not even a fucking noble.
And he's just like
He's
shaking.
a liar.
He's shaking Twyla like, calm down, Twyla. Like shaking a gnome is totally what you do to calm them down.
Well, no, it's nap time. I think it's nap time.
She's been riding through the night. She's got horse saddle sores on her little
Yeah.
gnome legs.
Well, my athletics and stuff is like, 1 green. So yeah, I'm probably really cranky.
So is anybody doing anything?
I'm going to do something. As I said, I hadn't dismounted yet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to bring me and the horse and my staff between the fake noble and Twyla and say, everybody calm down.
Okay. Pulling the whole Gandalf thing.
But mostly Twyla.
But mostly
Mostly Twyla. So regardless of Twyla, let's see how well. Go ahead and give me a coercion or a leadership or a skill roll to see if you keep the guy who just got stabbed in the back mainly from going after Twyla, because he's probably going to unsheath that sword and try to stab her right now, especially while somebody else is holding her.
Hold on, I'm going to use the restroom, guys. I'll be right back.
Your sword and your horse and staff seem to not be the calming influence they should be. And he just looks at you and he gives you this look like, get out of my way. She just stabbed me in the back. Everybody saw this. She tried to murder me.
No. If she would have tried to have murdered you, you'd be dead. She just put a dagger in your back because you're an asshole.
She rolled really well with that dagger. It sure looked
Yeah,
like
I know,
a...
but she doesn't need to know that.
Okay. Anybody doing anything else before this twerp takes some action?
You want to try
Well,
saying
I
that
still
again?
got me and my horse and my staff in between him and Twyla.
Mm-hmm. He'll have to burn some strain there to take an extra maneuver to get around you.
Wait, hold on. Did you break your staff?
Did you break my staff?
Yeah, your staff
Yeah,
was
last
broken a
time.
while back.
That's why
Oh.
we kept talking about you replacing it with a bone staff or a bone
Uh-huh.
mace.
Okay, so I used the staff, but it still got me and the horse in between.
You've got about 1.5 feet of staff in your hand. It still reminds you of its old fullness. You're half-staffed at the moment. And he's giving you a dirty look like he doesn't like you right now either. So anybody doing anything before he takes his turn, which will probably be violence on Tilda.
She kind of deserves it though. Like I would, like I'd interpose myself, but like
Until she drew first blood.
she kind of brought this on herself.
So he's gonna take the 2 strain to double move around the big horse that's in his way, and he's giving Bob dirty looks like you should not be interfering in this.
Well, at least now we're gonna see if you can actually use that sword.
And I'm definitely gonna give him a blue since Twyla's being held in the air,
Hey,
mobilized.
remember he's got negatives.
Yes, he's got some negatives because you made angry words and put a dagger in his spine, and your second dagger scared the crap out of him. So I have to pull something up real quick because I didn't think he was going to have to stab you with his sword, but apparently you've just made him have to stab you with his sword. Because some people just need a stabbing. Unfortunately today, it's our halfling. I was waiting to get yelled at for that.
I stabbed him 10 times. He had it coming.
She had it coming. She had it coming. She had a stabbing coming today.
Oof.
As he comes and whips that sword out and just drops that beautiful scabbard on the ground and kind of swings on Tilda, and maybe if she was a full-size human, she would have been stabbed, but instead the sword just wisps by her feet. And he kind of, he will choose to get some strain back. In the form of giving Tilda a black dice against whatever she does, or whoever goes next. So top of the order, Tilda, you're about 2 feet away from this guy. He just tried to cut your feet off. Obviously, that was his intention.
And I'm being held in a bear hug.
Well, it's more of a held by the scruff of your neck. So you could throw another dagger at the guy if you wanted, or
Let's do that.
you could throw a dagger at Avino.
I'm not going to throw a dagger at Avino.
You're just now turning Avino into a dagger delivery system. Don't roll yet.
I'm going to cast my one divine magic spell. I don't know what it's called, but I'm going to call it Calm the Fuck Down.
Now the question is, which one of you two are going to be able to do this first? Both give me an initiative.
You can go first.
Okay, if you're willing to let him go first.
Yeah, I'm willing to let him go first.
Okay. So what does this calm the fuck down divine spell do? Also known as oil on water.
Uh, I'm looking at the spell list.
Okay, because yeah, I just need to know how many purple to stack against you. And just because I got it, because I know the rest of y'all want me to spend it.
Oh, I thought I hit that. I was gonna hit that.
When she walked in the bar, we all thought we were going to hit that.
Not funny.
Hey, when she walked into the bar, she saw him across the way and said she was going to hit that. I mean, Tilda said she was going to hit that and put the dagger right between the shoulder blades.
When she walked in the bar, she said, "Ow," and then ducked.
Augment. Okay, so I guess I augment my presence and have people calm down. Is that how it would work?
Okay, so are you wanting to buff yourself and then do a presence roll? Because that would be 2 actions.
Well, I'm trying to figure because I was trying to actually look for a spell that would do that.
As I'm whipping out the book. So what you want to do, let's see. So we're going for now for your calm the fuck down spell. It's not going to be an attack per se.
Right.
So it's going to be more like a barrier or a curse. So do you want to make it so it's a magic barrier that protects people? Or a curse that basically gives people negatives if they start a fight?
That one.
Yeah, that one.
Okay. So you're wanting to give them the misfortune. So of course, well, yeah, misfortune would be the big one because it'll on any black dice they have will give them an automatic failure. You would want to do an additional target. So how many people are you wanting to do it on?
Just the 2 of them.
Okay, so the target normally affects 1 target. To do another, you'll need to have an advantage for each what advantage you have. You can do an additional target within the range. So that's 3 purple. Okay, and you can also put, since you are doing it as a divine, you could target makes sure you have 1 dice in the pool not display. You could do despair. That target strain and wound thresholds are reduced by an amount equal to their or paralyzed.
You
You
don't
also
have any,
just-
any
don't-
benefits from your tools, do you? That will reduce the difficulty.
You also don't have to do it as divine
You can
because
do
curse is a thing you're capable of.
Yeah,
as
arcane would be better because if you do it doom with arcane, the affected target makes a check. You can change any 1 dice not displaying triumph or despair to any side you choose. So you could basically give them a despair or failures on one of their dice.
Okay.
But that adds
Okay. Okay, yeah. In that case, I won't do it as divine. I'll just do it
as arcane.
Actually, wait a second. Instead of doing all of the misfortune and all of that, can I just do the straight paralyze?
Yeah,
It'd
you
be
can.
the same difficulty.
Yeah, you could totally do a straight paralyze. Just make life easier on yourself. Paralyzed with multiple targets makes the 2 of them calm the fuck down while everybody's like, what the hell is going on here? As she's about to bury a dagger in his eyeball. Because there's nothing worse than seeing a gnome throw a dagger into someone's eye from 2 feet away. So yeah, I've got your difficulty set there. And let me give you back that story point that you clicked on.
Oh, okay.
Because I beat you to it. So you try to do the, hey, everybody calm the fuck, and then just because the way the guy pushed past your horse must have just like startled you at the last moment of your cast, and it causes this like magic whiffle to come out that totally should have been just the two of them being paralyzed, and it turns more into a stale date smell.
Fun.
Well, I'm tired because I was just thinking a stale date. Is that when both people are bored?
So, Tilda, what were you gonna do? Twyla.
I'd like to go before her.
Okay. If Kelly doesn't
if she'll
mind.
let me.
I don't mind.
I'm gonna tackle the fake noble guy.
As the kitty is pouncing off the horse.
Yep.
Okay, and since you have a nice height advantage on the horse, I'm definitely going to give you a blue die to your brawl.
Hooray!
Go ahead when ready. Jesus Christ.
Did you forget I had precision?
No, I didn't forget you had precision, but I'm like, Jesus Christ. So, immediately,
I got him in a full Nelson.
Korik
Totally unable to move.
flies off the horse's saddle with a And what would you like to do with those 3 advantages besides, tackle his ass?
I mean, I want to move him in such a way that it would be pretty hard to hit him with a dagger without hitting me.
As Korik is pouncing on him, but kind of being a human furry shield at the same time. Okay, so you're going to upgrade the difficulty for any dagger checks?
Yeah.
Okay. And you
For
kind
any dagger checks, that's very specific. Any other weapon? No, just daggers.
She doesn't use a dagger this time. She uses fire.
No,
She uses vicious mockery to melt his mind.
she just throws a rock.
So,
I wish.
what about him fighting back, by the way? Because it looks like he was about to try to stab, Twyla again.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can beat him in any given brawl encounter. So he can try breaking out. He won't succeed at doing it, but he can try.
Okay, yeah, that's not going to be good. Okay, so, yeah. Avino's just going to be like, Twyla, and he's shaking you, giving you a black dice to whatever you're doing next.
Well, if Korik has him
Pinned.
tackled,
Pounced.
I'm not going to risk hurting Korik.
It's
I'm
only going to be if you
basically-
roll 3 threat that you stab Korik.
Yeah, no. With the way I roll, sound like fine.
With
Let
the
the
way you
lying,
roll, you're
cheating-
gonna kill the damn thing.
Remember, you've got magic. I mean,
Yeah, but I don't want to risk hurting him.
aww. The cute
Like,
kitty
fine.
face calmed you down.
Fine. Let the lying, cheating weasel live. But he is not who he says he is.
Are you there, Kelly? I think you cut off abruptly there.
You didn't hear that?
Oh,
We
I
heard it.
I heard
It
it. You just
ended a little suddenly.
you ended and there's this big silent pause. It was very dramatic. I liked it.
Nobody responded to my.
Well, we're all in shock of Twyla going for full murder hobo. It's great.
Yeah.
That's actually very correct. I'm just kind of sitting here like, is she gonna throw another dagger? Is
You made some popcorn in the interim. That's what you did last turn.
It comes shooting at his butt shoot.
Oh no.
So, anybody doing anything else before the nobleman's gonna try to do something?
I will go over and help Korik restrain the nobleman in what I assume will only give him like a bonus die or something like that.
Okay.
Should
So-
probably also treat the dagger that is currently in his back,
That's
or
not
the
so.
other dagger that is also in his back.
No.
No, the second dagger
The
missed.
second dagger
Oh.
missed. It just made
For
him
now.
very uncomfortable that the second dagger appeared in the sand next to his foot.
I want those back.
Yes, I would imagine so.
So is Index going to restrain him or medicine him?
I'm definitely going to start with restraining him because it's not going to help to medicine him if he immediately goes to stab her.
Or me.
Or
More
you
importantly, yes.
or you critically
pe-
fail the medicine and push the knife through thinking it's an arrowhead.
Yeah. It's really unusual for me that neither Joseph nor I are the cause of this fight, and we are both trying to stop it.
So-
And
So do me a
That's not just
favor and
this
give
campaign,
me
That's any given campaign.
give me a brawl check really quick as you try to help. You heard the air quotes when I said help, right?
oh yay!
It's only against 2 purple. I mean, it's not crazy hard.
Bro, does it even exist? Does it exist?
He's a robot. He's
Oh, it
got
does. I'm not
yeah,
terrible at it. Okay, do you have the difficulty in?
Yep.
Okay, let's do it.
Jesus. That's so threatening.
That's not bad.
So you kind of like try to help, but the 3 of you get into this weird pile of fur, metal, and douche. That is like this ball of things happening. He's
Oh, no.
completely restrained, so he's not going to be able to get up and stabby cut. But
Did we
it's
accidentally begin a 50 Shades of Grey fan fiction?
Oh, no.
I mean
Oh,
brass and fur and douche. I mean there's a thing there. There's a market for everything. Okay, so he's pretty much restrained right now, and he's just gonna start talking
Eric
shit.
Gonzalez and mute. He's not allowed to talk anymore.
okay. When you say he starts talking shit, starts talking shit, what does he say?
He's
He's not saying
basically
anything. Raw sewage is falling from his mouth.
he basically starts going off about how he's you all have witnessed. You are all my witnesses. The gnome attacked me with my back to her. You all witnessed that I am a victim of assault. Someone should take this gnome and hang her.
Well, technically, you're a dick.
So
And also, technically, I don't think we fall under a jurisdiction where anyone recognizes assault.
yeah, what are the legal ramifications right now?
And-
I'm gonna
and-
go with none.
That's actually where I'm coming from with Index on this, because I think he's more judging based off of incorrect literal knowledge. Like, I don't think we are in a place where like city laws cover this.
And apparently the general audience viewing this whole kerfuffle are all like, nope, doesn't sound like she's got a point. I mean, Avino's not really restraining her very hard, and he is our champion right now. So we're just busy surviving over here, and you guys do what you got to do over there. But if any of y'all die, we're taking your horse.
It's valid.
James,
Uh-huh.
can I make a knowledge adventuring roll or some type of check to see whether we're pretty sure he isn't actually a nobleman?
You could definitely do a roll for like to insight that. I mean, especially with the way he's acting now. I mean, that definitely is giving you more information when he's doing his little poser bit of the "I am a noble, you must save me." So you could do discipline, or I'd even give you a knowledge roll.
Can we get bonus die if I take a blood sample?
I think Twyla's already taken a blood sample all down the back of his shirt.
Oh yes, yes.
Yep.
But he has so much more blood in the sample. And once you lose a certain amount of blood, you get really cooperative.
Sus. Let me open up my notes app to put that down.
I mean,
I don't take notes on the important things, just the funny things.
he only needs like 3 more points to drop dead, so
I can help him with that.
He's talking real brave for someone with 3 wounds left. All I'm saying.
So who's going first? I mean, does Bob want to check his pedigree again?
What would that be?
That's basically against his truth telling skill. That's totally not deception.
Oh, I know.
Mhm. I tell Bob what.
No, his deception. You're trying to pierce the disguise he's using. Out of character knowledge.
What do I actually roll?
So you could roll a discipline. You could roll. Let me flip over. You could roll a awareness. You could do a knowledge roll if you like, because you did mention knowledge roll, so I totally would give you that. You could totally roll perception's like the biggest one. Just that's just the noticing the details on him of, wait a minute, he's not acting like any noble. Until somebody points out, but wait a minute, he's having someone else restrain a smaller person and he's trying to kill them while they're restrained. That's totally a noble thing to do. Let's put it this way. What skill do you want to use and how are you going to sell it?
Oh, it makes it a really much harder roll than it should be, but I've actually got the talent museum worthy, which means that I actually know this type of information, but that makes it a hard roll.
Well, technically right now you're rolling against his deception, which is 2 purple and a red, so it's more than hard.
Oh.
So a hard roll would actually be easier because it'd be 3 purple.
Okay.
So are you going to go with your knowledge skill? All of a sudden
I'm going to go with my knowledge skill.
You're going to try to bust out with something that a noble of his stature, of his household, would know. Some kind of cool factoid.
He did recognize his own goddamn horses.
That's kind of... I'll give you a blue dice to add to that roll for that. Because, yeah, you guys kind of noted... You're remembering he, like, kept calling them beasts. That you know for a fact someone of that house would not be calling those horses beasts.
You are welcome to use Index as an aid another if you want to use his intelligence.
Well, Index is busy wrestling right now.
Oh, that's right. But only his
But he got
hand.
that blood sample.
Yeah, that's right.
This blood sample is not 20% horse. I think you're not who you say you are. So go ahead and make that roll.
Wait.
Oh, okay, don't click yet. Okay, click now. You got an upgrade.
Okay, and it is knowledge?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And immediately you do the hands on the chin and you go, since you're sitting on the noble horse, and you look at him and the horse and you're like, first off, and you kind of like look at the audience that's watching this whole debacle going on and you're just like, oh, this is going so bad. First off, these horses, and you start naming off the horses with your knowledge, of their pedigree and the fact that these horses have been bred by his fathers, and you put father with the air quotes in the air, house for generations. How is it he doesn't even recognize his own father's horses? Granted, his father may love these horses more than him, henceforth the threat.
Can't blame him.
But then again, the horses are smarter than he is.
And the horse kind of gives you that, Disney-esque smile and puff up its chest like, yes.
The real question is, did the horses recognize him?
No, they didn't. You mean these fine, noble horses who've been trained that actually, are so good they can follow voice commands if needed?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
those ones.
No, and the people are like, oh no, he didn't. He not the guy he said he was.
The
Ooh, he
gnome
in
was
trouble.
right.
It still doesn't give
And
you
that
an
they have
excuse to
all been
stab someone in the
kowtowing to
back.
this lying, cheating bastard.
But yeah,
Now.
He's been taking advantage of them
Let's
in their
start.
desperate straits.
I never
Now.
thought you were wrong. I just didn't think you needed to throw a knife into his back.
Let's start this in the beginning and figure out whether or not we should kill him for impersonating a noble, or whether there's some extenuating circumstances.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's trying to save his wretched, lying, cheating hide at the expense of all these fine people.
I don't think we just should judge him for impersonating a rebel. Glass houses and stones and all. That's just my 2 cents.
Well, let's hear his story, because he obviously is not a nobleman.
Yeah, his friend was the nobleman. Where is his friend?
Okay.
I'm gonna guess up in the hills with the orcs.
That's
So,
what
so,
I'm thinking.
so who's going next?
I'll go and just maintain the grapple.
Okay, no need to roll for that because there's this whole kerfuffle happening on the floor. Okay, so Avino is shaking Twyla and saying, "Are you going to behave?"
Yes.
This
Don't
isn't
fall
like
for it.
this isn't like last summer in Prague. No daggers and backs. And he kind of sets Twyla down on the ground pretty gently, kind of pats your back, like, "Sorry, I had to get rough with you." So what is Twyla gonna do?
It's like, you better start telling us the truth.
I could just
Or
totally see
else.
the gnome waving her dagger as she's saying that.
Yeah. Or else.
So sounds like you're giving me an intimidation, so a coercion.
Yeah, and I think since I did shank the bastard, that I should get a blue for that.
Are you sure you want a blue? Because I was going to give you an upgrade since you've already,
Oh yeah,
reduced
no,
yourself
upgrade.
to violence.
I should probably get an upgrade and a blue for what I did to him.
That's a bit much.
Not going to go that far.
Well, my coercion
you are
really sucks.
You are being held up by the scruff of your neck.
He did put you down gently
I
and
don't
pat your
suppose
back.
I could use like a leadership for this.
If you want to, you can use leadership.
Yeah,
How are
I'm
you
gonna-
using leadership?
it's like I am basically like pointing out that these people were following you. That Avino here is the one who should be trusted because this guy is leading you false and
Aw.
taking advantage of you. And you can't tell me that he hasn't been putting upon you all to get extra rations, extra everything, and not have to work a goddamn moment by claiming that he's a noble.
Okay, go.
Making it that much harder for the rest of you.
Ooh. Go ahead and make your roll as you're turning the crowd that was trying to stay, out of it, but you're trying to get them to your side.
Are
What?
you fucking kidding me?
Well,
God.
you did try to murder someone in front of them, and that kind of turns the crowd off. So you do have 3 advantage. How would you like to spend those?
I'm gonna give anything that he does blacks.
Okay. Do you think the main thing is because you went full murder gnome on him? That's probably how the civilized people are not listening to the person who just wantonly throws daggers in people's backs. As they're just like, women are covering their children's faces from this violence and not wanting to be part of it. They're like, we can't be preached to by a gnome who stabs people in the back. She's so mean. I love it. Okay, so who's taking that last slot there?
I think that's.
Index.
I guess.
I think that's
Yeah, I
Scott.
guess it's me, but
No, I think you went first, Index. Didn't you?
No, I went first.
Yeah, Bob went
Oh.
first. Then you maintain the grapple.
if
Right.
if he's standing there and and the grapple's being maintained, I want to start treating his wounds, but like in a way that would dissuade him from further engagement. You know?
Okay.
It's
I'll
getting
add
a little rough, wiggling
uh,
your fingers around too deep in the wound.
I'll
Well,
add
like if he moves, then the needle's gonna go in the wrong place, kind of thing. You know?
I'll give you a black because you're basically using aggressive irrigation, as nurses say.
Yes.
Okay, good. Go for your medicine check.
Medicine check. Do.
Watch you roll like amazingness and heal him to full life. Or something.
Oh. Okay, that's not bad.
It's like, damn, it's a shame she didn't put crits on him.
Yeah.
Okay, so you give him back one wound.
Well, yeah, give him back one wound, and I'd like to split those die, like 3 of them, you know, to help maintain the grapple and make sure that things are going well on his end, and 3 of them to help Twyla narratively, you know, with whatever she's trying to do.
It's like, I'm healing him. Yeah, okay. Okay. So it's douchebag's turn. He's still immobilized. So, you know, basically between your heavy swath wrapping of his arms to his chest, you know, he definitely does drop the sword when you're tending his wound. Especially since you give him 1 wound vac. He's up to 4.
Yay!
Okay, so you guys are what is the plan at this point? Narratively speaking, guys.
What plan?
Okay, but I still want to hear his side of the story on what actually happened.
My plan is the same as it was half an hour ago when I said, "All right, let's go to the hills. We'll come back for this guy after we get the ring."
We can leave this guy in the care of the muffin.
That's a fate worse than death.
He died of blueberry poisoning. Okay, so is somebody wanting to get him to spill the truth? I mean, that kind of sounded like what Bob was going for.
That sounds good for somebody who might be socially good at that.
Does somebody want to use charm or coercion to get it out of him?
I don't think I can use charm.
You can use charm in the scary way,
Yeah, let me
Use
try.
charm in a scary way.
or
Let
you
me
can
try.
use leadership. Well, apparently Bob is going to try to talk him into it, but I need to add some difficulty dice here. Okay, go for it, Bob. And you do have story points if you want to use them. As Bob is trying to be the peacemaker and say, hey, just confess and we will let you go. And meanwhile, as he's in pain from the medicine check, he's just not giving. Now the question is, does Twyla want to push the point now that she's been set free on the world?
I can try and use another leadership.
Okay.
Tell the freaking truth.
As she kind of waves the dagger for emphasis, hopefully not too dangerously at her teammates. As she's just like, tell the truth. And then finally, the way her angry gnomeness just kicks in as she kind of stomps the dirt. It's half adorable, half thing of nightmares. Somewhere in between, especially since she probably picked up the dagger that just got thrown to the ground by Index out of his back. You know, she kind of waves the bloody dagger tip, so flicks some blood on the guy's cheek. And the guy's just like, okay, I took my master's papers and was pretending to be him. It was the only way to guarantee my safety. But I didn't take any more food than anyone else has had.
Yeah, I doubt that highly.
And that gives you no right to stab me in the back.
You could have saved yourself all of this trouble if you'd just told the truth.
And he just like
And
looks.
you need to apologize to each and every one of these people for lording it over them, and taking advantage of them when you're just a lying, cheating, slimy coward.
And you could just see him like shriveling under Coric's grapple. Or helpful nurse ministrations. And he just looks absolutely ashamed. And on top of it, the people are like, yeah. You hear one person like, you're glad you're trapped in an oasis, because if there was a fruit vendor, they'd be selling rotten fruit right now.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, guy
'Cause
who
I'm
I don't
sure
know.
he was being a douchebag to them too.
Well, yeah, I mean, you didn't
Now,
ask
Tell
around.
us everything you know about the real son.
He hates his father, and he loves his
Not the
mother.
last time you saw him, dipshit.
I lost sight of him during the attack. And since
Yeah,
you
it's hard
did
to see with your eyes closed.
since you did succeed, he basically, after he composes himself, dirty tears on his face, he kind of looks up at you and says, My master fled with the other guards. They promised if he fled with them that they would get him to safety.
So you think he was in the other group that went the other way?
He left before the attack happened. He left behind his papers, and I picked them up. I was going to use them to get coin from the Bank of Taras.
Yeah, we know what you were going to use them for.
And he just kind of like shruggingly pulls the papers out and throws them towards Twyla in his half-bandaged hand that's apparently still restrained by a kitten. And he just looks down in shame. He's like, I just wanted to live. I took this job to be his bodyguard, and the bastard fled in the night with the other guards that deserted us all. What was I to do? What was
could have been
I to
bodyguard to these
do?
You can have some too.
It's like if he's looking for sympathy, he can look it up in the dictionary between shit and syphilis.
Mm.
And
That's an
then he's like, I can't even read.
That's right. Okay.
I cannot read this dictionary that you speak of. I did not know there was an area of dicks. And basically, yes, you do get the idea that the noble you're looking for fled off with these deserters this direction instead of being captured and or killed and dragged off into the hills. Interesting bit of information he gave you.
Mhm.
I mean, you could totally go kill orcs in the hills, or you can go track down the deserters.
Well, let's take his papers and go after the deserters.
Okay, so somebody picks up the noble's papers.
Papers, please.
As you do notice, does anyone read the papers?
Yeah, Index,
later.
can you verify that these are actually the real court papers?
Well, are you going to read it? And how are you going to verify that they're legit other than reading it?
Blood test.
Also, the fact that it's a little bit difficult for someone who can't read to forge documents.
This is true. They clearly
if it's
look
just
like
random letters thrown on a page.
It's really charcoal pictures of stick figures. So who's gonna actually look at the papers, by the way?
I would.
Sounds like
I think
a
like it's a good idea
index
for
thing.
index too, but I'm open if anyone else has an emotional investment.
No, go
So-
ahead.
yeah,
Okay,
sounds
so
like an index thing.
Index looks at it. They seem legit, like one's a letter of introduction. The second one is a letter for funds. Basically, think of it like an old-timey check, that one of the banks would give to the bearer of this note, my son, blah, blah, blah. Please give 600 gold coins in care of my money bags for investment in business ventures, etc., etc.
Yes.
But go ahead and give me a knowledge roll or something of your choice that you can sell me on against the difficulty dice I've already set. See if you can tell if they're legit or not. Like bona fide 100% legit or not.
Wait,
Dollar,
hold up.
please.
Before we do this, skullduggery? Like I'm
You'd
not
have
gonna
to
lie.
know what the originals were to be able to forge them.
Like I'm real good at skullduggery.
Apparently you are the furry prince.
Yeah.
Like
Well, I would say, because skullduggery would be used for forgery, and you'd be able to tell whether or not it was, forged or not.
I feel like I'd probably know most of the tricks of the trade for forging stuff.
I'll accept that.
All right.
Difficulty set. Unless somebody wants to click a story point.
Do we have no story? Oh, I just haven't synced.
You
with
have
the fool,
3
I?
story
All right.
points.
All right. I was gonna say it's like, have I just? I didn't sync with the fool.
I clicked force. It just probably didn't work.
With
Or-
Paragon, do I have to spend the points before I do the roll, or can I do it after?
For your Uber power for Paragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to spend them first if you want to try, because doesn't it have a skill roll involved?
All right. There. I'm triggering Paragon.
Okay.
I can remove 1 purple of my choice from the results of a skullduggery roll.
Okay. So it's because you are a paragon of forgery, because your kitten claws forge amazingly. Just saying.
I'm just a really good thief, and that involves a whole lot of different things. Lock picking too. It's
Lots of skill
So
set.
many
Holes
things.
with the skulls of your enemies.
Okay. So which one of those purples would you like to take out, since they were equally potent?
yeah. I'll either one.
Okay,
Either
so
one's
5
fine.
successes and an advantage.
2 advantage.
Ah, yes, 2 no, 1 advantage.
If I remove one of those purples, it's 2 advantage.
Oh, you're right. Okay, so you immediately look at these and you see that these papers are legit. They are 100% legit. If you go to any place that's got a official bank, you could take that note in, and if you could play off that you are the son of so-and-so, you could totally walk out with 600 gold coins in your pocket.
Hot damn.
Nice.
And the fact that you have actual legal documents saying that you are son of so-and-so. These 2 pieces together are very important. If you want to, embezzle 600 gold coins from Prince Douchey Douche.
We don't need to. We
Always.
bring it back, we get 300.
300 is less than 600 though.
Well, yeah, but
Because
And
3 is smaller than
less than
6.
300 and 600.
600 is the douchey tax for the Duke. Just saying. Though you probably don't want to use this paper in the town where he's at, because they might know what his son looks like.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
The paper just got lost in all the commotion, and it was never recovered.
Obviously.
Right, guys?
Much
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Dances with Wolves, some dude probably used it for TP that couldn't read.
Mm-hmm.
That's science.
That's important papers, man. In the age of illiteracy. Okay, so you guys, who's going to take those papers, by the way?
I can.
Yeah.
that sounds like an index thing.
Index has a built-in scroll case, slot it in there in the mail slot.
He's the one who does all the paperwork for the team.
That's right.
Okay, so you guys fill up your supplies. Now, quick question. as you guys have your wagon with tons of food, as you recall, don't you have like some extra barrels of food?
Do we?
Yes, we do. We did. We took it off the guys in the cave.
The bandits.
The bandits. Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm really tired.
Yeah.
You had barrels of dates extra.
We took the bear. Yeah.
Now, are you willing to part with them for these hungry, lost
Yes,
people
of course.
who've been
Why not?
looking at your wagon full of supplies and not touched a single thing? Because, well, obviously you have a murder gnome with you, but they're civilized people who would not steal.
The real
If I
rations.
remember correctly, it was. Hold on. Let me go up. to
Real
my-
rations are the friends we make along the way.
Until you hit the snowy pass.
No. That still checks out. The real rations are the friends you make along the way.
Much like northern explorers with their dogs, they're not rations until they are.
Hmm.
Yeah, dried dates and yams.
So are you willing to give up some of your Uber supplies? Because, it's more than
Yeah.
enough to feed you guys for quite a few days. Or it could help these impoverished people whose only rations are the horse oats they managed to drag with them as they ran away.
No, we can definitely give them some.
Okay, in that case, as you guys, give them some food, they kind of cheer you on of like, yeah, he's an asshole. We like you. You feed us. If you'd have done this from the beginning, we would have tarred and feathered him for you.
Yay.
Okay, so you guys are now heading off towards the other tracks where the ghost told you the deserters ran off to.
Yeah. But we're gonna have to call it here.
That's exactly where I was going for a wrap-up spot there.
Okay.
Oh, somebody's doing the Indiana Jones lines. And somebody give me a survival roll. Don't roll yet, though. Don't roll yet.
I got this.
Because it's now hard because it's been many days following their path. But you can roll now. Damn. Well, 3 threat. I like that. So, obviously, Korik is doing a great job with the tracking. However, you do run into something before you find the runaways. And
Hooray.
that is a good place to wrap it up there.
And did we get any XP?
You did get XP. You get 10 XP each.
Did we get any XP last time?
You didn't. That's why you're getting 10 this time.
Okay.
Because if not, I'd say no. You all showed up late. You get nothing.
Oh, man.
Nothing.
And now I need to make sure Kelly stays awake while we watch Mandalorian.
I'm
Good luck
probably
with that.
gonna fall asleep.
You're
going
not
the
going to
fuck
fall
to
asleep.
bed.
You're going to watch Mandalorian. After the poor GM goes to the restroom, because I really got to go to the restroom.
Like, I played Ascendancy for like 8 hours today.
Oh my
I
god.
am mentally exhausted.
Oh my
I'm
god.
going to bed. That game should only be like 4 hours long for 4 people. That was way too fucking long.
Oh god. Alrighty guys. So I'm going to
Alright.
call it there and run off because really I have to go to
Good
the
night,
restroom.
guys.
All right.
Nice
Good
talking.
night,
Good
guys.
night, guys.
Bye.
Night.